Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parabhijakacharya Asto Tana Sutta Sri Srimad Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parabhijakacharya Asto Tana Sutta Sri Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prayam Sikavo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shaima Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON Newtown Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharni Nirvishesha Swami Nari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So good morning. Thank you all for coming. Today's class in the beautiful Bhagavatam. So this is another exciting chapter, isn't it? You see all these wonderful parts of Krishna's pastimes, his story, and so many of them would make a wonderful movie. Why don't we spend our money making these beautiful movies? They spend so much money making rubbish movies, don't they? But this is another wonderful story. So today's text, this is Canto 10, Chapter 63, Text 35 and 36. Nabir nabo nir mukam amboreto. Dwao shishram sahasrutir agrir uri. Chandro mano yasyadrig arka atma. Aham samudro jat hartam bhujendraha. Nabir nabho nir mukam ambureto. Yo shisham shahash shrutir agrir urvi. Chandro mano yasyadrig arkam atma. Aham samudro jataram bhujendraha. Nabir nabo nir mukam ambureto. Yo sisram sahasritir angrir urvi. Chandramano Yasya Drig Artha Atma Aham Samudro Chatharam Bhujendra. Then I'll chant verse 36, and then we'll do the word for word, okay? Romaniyasyo sadyo mbuvaha keshavrino dishana visharga Rajapatir hridayam yasya dharmana savai bhavan bhurusho loka kalpaha Navahi, the navel. Navaha, the sky. Agnihi, fire. Mukam, the face. Ambu, water. Ritaha, the semen. Dyo, heaven. Shirsham, the head. Asa, the directions. Shrutihi, the sense of hearing. Aghri, the foot. Urvi, the earth. Chandra, the moon. Manaha, the mind. Yasya, whose. Drik, sight. Akara, the sun. Atma, self-awareness. Aham, I, Shiva. Samudra, the ocean. Jataram, the abdomen. Bhuja, the arm. Indraha, Indra. Romani, the hairs on the body. Yasya, whose. Osadaya, herbal plants. Ambujwala waha, water. Excuse me, water-bearing clouds. Keshaha, the hairs on the head. Virinchaha, Lord Brahma. Dishana, the discriminating intelligence. Visharga, the genitals. Prajapati, the progenitor of mankind. Hridayam, the heart. Yasya, whose. Dharma, religion. Sa, He, Bahi, indeed, Bhavan, your good self, Purusha, the primeval creator, Loka, the words, Kalpa, produced, from whom? Translation. The sky is your navel, fire your face, water your semen, and heaven your head. The cardinal directions are your sense of hearing. Herbal plants, the hairs on your body, and water-bearing clouds, the hair on your head. The earth is your foot, the moon your mind, and the sun your vision, while I am your ego. The ocean is your abdomen, Indra is your arm, Lord Brahma your intelligence, the progenitor of mankind your genitals, and religion your heart. You are indeed the original Purusha, creator of the worlds. So I say, and you can repeat, the sky is your navel. Fire is your face. Water is your semen. And heaven your head. The cardinal directions are your sense of hearing. Herbal plants, the hairs on your body, and water-bearing clouds, the hair on your head. The earth is your foot. The moon is your mind. And the sun is your vision. Well, I am your ego. The ocean is your abdomen. Indra, your arm. Lord Brahma, your intelligence. The progenitor of mankind, your genitals. And religion, your heart. You are indeed the original Purusha, creator of the worlds. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami explains that just as the tiny bugs living inside a fruit cannot comprehend the fruit, so we, tiny living beings, cannot understand the supreme absolute truth in whom we exist. It is difficult to understand the cosmic manifestation of the Lord, what to speak of his transcendental form as Sri Krishna. Therefore, we should remember in Krishna consciousness, we should surrender in Krishna consciousness, and the Lord himself will help us understand. Om Gyantimarindasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadantakam. So, this is Lord Shiva talking to Lord Krishna. And so there's just been a big fight. And so Lord Shiva is kind of trying to please Krishna. So he's saying such sweet and wonderful words, but he was opposed to Krishna before. There was some fighting, and what's the name of that three-headed, three-legged creature? Huh? Yeah. So this three-armed or three-legged, three-headed creature had come to attack Krishna. And so Krishna did him in, and he immediately begged for forgiveness. And so Whenever I think of this verse, and I remember this part stands out amongst many other parts in this chapter, where this ugly, horrible creature, he came, he approached Krishna, and he wanted to kill Krishna. So that was the intent. He didn't come to scare Krishna or to negotiate with Krishna or to see if he could get Krishna to back down, to intimidate him. He wanted to kill Krishna. This was the object. And so even though he came with such evil intent, when Krishna defeated him, he begged for mercy. He begged, oh, dear Lord, please forgive me. And so what did Krishna do? It would have been rightful if Krishna would have said, you're a dirty slime. But Krishna forgave him. He said, you can live without fear. You don't have to fear. So he gave him this benediction. You don't have to worry. It's okay. I think he actually gave him, you won't have to worry about old age or death, right? Isn't it? I think that's part of, Krishna gave him benediction because at the end, he surrendered, even though he wanted to kill Krishna. So we, the living entities, we have approached God in so many different ways. And, okay, is that better? And sometimes we want to be Krishna. I think I can be Krishna. I think I am Krishna. Prabhupada said one time that in India, there's God on every street corner. So many people, they're saying, I am God. And even one yogi was preaching that he wanted to get everyone's attention. He said, I'm not here to tell you that I'm God. I'm here to convince you that you're God. And so then everyone was, huh? What is this? Me? Moi? God? So then he had everyone's attention. So this is common. This is part of the reason, the main reason why we wind up in this material world to begin with. It's hard for many of us who live in this surrounding. You live in this wonderful ISKCON Newtown. You're surrounded by beautiful acreage. See Gornitire here. The cows are walking around. There's devotees everywhere. Srila Prabhupada is here. So you live in this spiritual world. And it's very easy sometimes to forget what that material world is like out there. After you're here for a while, you start to forget it, which is right. You should. You should start thinking that I'm in the spiritual world. You are. You're in the spiritual world and you're doing things that liberated people in this spiritual world do. So you're living as if you're liberated. You're still embodied in this material body, but right now, for all intents and purposes, you are liberated. As long as you continue doing what you're doing, you're part of the marginal energy of Krishna, so it's possible for you to become attracted again to the material energy. That's possible. So we need to work hard to prevent that. But as long as you stay fixed in what you're doing right here, right now, day in and day out, in this Newtown surrounding, then you are liberated, isn't it? So this is training, so that when you go back home, after you leave this body, you'll take up just where you left off here. Why, the first thing in the morning, you'll think, I'm back home. I'm back in Vaikuntha. I'm back in Goloka Vrindavan. I think I'm going to go to Mangal Arti and see Krishna. That's what I do every day. You see? You'll be doing the same things there that you do here on a more intensified basis. But you're doing it here. This is your training so that when you get back home, back to Godhead, you don't have to go through some training course. You know? Hello. Welcome to Goloka Vrindavan. All those here for the first time, raise your hand. Okay. So then all of you go over there. We'll give you some training. No, it's not going to be that way. You're going to get off the flower airplane and go right into devotional service. Isn't it? What do you think you're going to do? So you're back home. You're all trained up. It's like the Army when they train the special forces. You know, the Navy SEALs. Do they have Navy SEALs in India? Something special forces? Yeah, everybody does. Yeah. So in America, they have these Navy SEALs, and they're very highly trained. And so when they parachute into a mission, they jump out of an airplane, parachute into a mission. When they hit the ground, they're so well trained, they know exactly what to do. They start immediately. They don't have to say, hey, what should I do? What do we do? You know, they know it immediately. Step 1, we do this. Step 2, we do that. 3, we do that. 4. That's our mission. They know what the mission is. So I often think of the devotees of Krishna as like the Navy SEALs. What are the special forces called in India? Huh? Commandos. Oh, many commandos. Yeah. So they know what to do, don't they? So you're highly trained. You should know what to do. You will know what to do. You're getting trained every day. Is there a day when you wake up that you don't know what to do? No, you know what to do. You know where the temple is. You don't have to ask people, hey, can you tell me where the mandir? Where is the mandir? You know? So you know this has become the way you live your life. So it will be like that when you return back home, back to Godhead. You see? You'll know exactly. You'll, as they say, you'll hit the ground running immediately. This is your training. No training will be necessary when you get there. And of course, by that time, you will have regained your cheat knowledge. You'll know. You know your way around. You won't need Google Maps. What is Apple? Apple Maps? What do they call it? Huh? They use that here, don't they? What do they call it in Apple? You know, to find some destination? You know? Huh? Yeah. Maps. Yeah. So I don't have an Apple, so I don't know. I don't have the iPhone. So I was saying Apple, iPhone. I have the other one. What's the other one? Android, yeah. So I use Google Maps. So you won't need that, though, when you go back home. You're going to know where everything is. But you'll know every street. You'll know every tree. Every river. Every flower. Every piece of grass you'll know, because they are also part and parcel of Krishna. And part of this big family. You'll know everything there. That's home. When you go home, you know everybody home, don't you? When you go visit your home, nobody has to introduce you to This is your brother. This is your sister. This is your cousin. No, everyone. So when you go back home, there are innumerable living entities, and you know them all. Innumerable living entities. Can you imagine when you get home, back to Godhead, and innumerable living entities look at you and say, Haribol! Welcome home. It's going to be just like that. Welcome home. Innumerable living entities. That means there's so many, there's not a number big enough to say how many. Far more living entities than there are in this material world. Far more. There is a finite number of living entities in this material world. They actually can be counted. Every living entity in the whole cosmic manifestation can be counted. It would be a big number, but Krishna knows the exact number. And he knows all of their names. You see? In the spiritual world, there is no number. It's unlimited. Billions and trillions of times bigger than the number of people that are here, of souls. And you know them all intimately. Intimately. As soon as you go back, as soon as you glance, you'll see, my dear friend. Why, everywhere, the whole thing. So, now it sounds a little difficult to understand that world, doesn't it? Why, it's kind of puzzling. Innumerable living entities. Some of them are desire trees, kalpa vriksha. Some of them are grass. Some of them are flowers. Some of them are gopas. Some are gopis. They're all serving Krishna in their own way. And you know them all. That's kind of hard to imagine, isn't it? So here we are in this material world, and scientists, and maybe we have from time to time, try to imagine, hey, what is this all about? Why, as far back as there's been history recorded, there's been someone looking up at the stars and the planets trying to figure out, what is this? Where am I? And so then they start to speculate. Well, I think that's this, and that one must be so many miles further than that one. They don't really know, but they speculate. Sometimes they're pretty close. Material science is pretty close with the distance of the sun. They say 93 million miles. The Vedas say 93 million miles, approximate like that. So they're pretty close with the sun. Not so close with other things, but it's guesswork. We can't expect them to be correct. Some people that have a lot of faith in the material energy, they expect the scientist to be correct. They accept. Scientist says that Mars is this far away, the moon is this far away. Why, I believe it. You know why? Because it's science. Why, science says, scientifically speaking, the moon is this far away. So that becomes our law. And then we hear the Vedas. Well, Vedas say the moon is this far away. Vedas say the sun is this far away. Oh, well, science says that too, so the Vedas must be correct, right? So that's our defect. We think science is real. And Vedas, well, they could be real if they agree with science, right? No. Vedas are real. It's real knowledge. And sometimes material science gets it correct in their speculation. Well, we think the sun is 93 million miles away. You got that one right. So you get 1 point, you know. Krishna is always correct. So here we are. Lord Shiva is giving some sort of an analogy, his own vision. You see? This is his feeling when he's looking at Krishna. And he's saying, the sky is your navel. You see? He's looking at Krishna, and this is what he's seeing. Sky is your navel. Fire is your face. Water, your semen. And heaven is your head. The cardinal directions are your sense of hearing. This is what he's perceiving when he's looking directly at Krishna. So this is direct perception. It's not speculation. This is what his image is as he's looking at Krishna. The herbal plants are the hairs on your body. Water-bearing clouds are the hair on your head. The earth is your foot. The moon is your mind. This is beautiful. And the sun, your vision, while I am your ego. The ocean is your abdomen. Indra, your arm. Lord Brahma, your intelligence. The progenitor of mankind, your genitals, and religion is your heart. You are indeed the original Purusha, creator of the worlds. So this is what he's perceiving as he's looking directly at Krishna. So the materialists have to speculate. They can't get any direct perception. They don't get to look at Krishna. You see? To look at Krishna, you have to have eyes to see Krishna. So Krishna wants you to see him, doesn't he? Does Krishna want you to see him? So then Krishna is ready to give you eyes to see him. In the meantime, until we get those eyes, we have the deity. We can see Krishna in the deity directly. That is also Krishna. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna and Radha. Lord Nityananda is there. There's Balaram. You see, we actually get to see the Lord every day. This is part of our training. When we go back home, back to Godhead, we're going to get to see the Lord every day, every minute. Sometimes when I'm preaching to other religions, sometimes when I'm talking to Christians, I'll ask them, do you believe you're going to go to heaven? And they say, oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to heaven. And so when you get home, when you get to heaven, what are you and God going to do? And I always get this blank look, like, I will do stuff, Well, what will you do with God? Do you know what he looks like? No. Well, then how do you know it's going to be him? Someone says, hey, you see that guy over there? That's God. How do you know? That could be a joke. He could be the guy over there. You don't know. So you don't know what to look for. Maybe some bright light. Jai, CC Gornitai. So I look and I see some bright light. Oh, that must be God, right? I have to speculate. I don't have any clue. My training was incomplete. I'm going to need someone to show me around, because I'm going to get here and I'm going to say, what do I do? How should I spend my time? How many channels are on cable TV here? You know? What, they don't know. What do I do? Watch television? So there's not any plans of what will you do with God when you get back home, back to Godhead. The materialist thinks that those that believe in heaven, they believe it's going to be a reincarnation or a reenactment, a reassembly of what they have here. It's going to be like here. My children will be there. My wife will be there. My mother will be there. My father will be there. My dog will be there. You see? And so I asked this one guy one time, so your wife is going to be? Yeah. So, but haven't you been married like 3 times? Are all 3 wives going to be there? I'm like, oh, I don't know. So, you see what I mean? Lack of training. You've got the training. You know exactly what to expect when you get there. Why, of course your mother will be there. She may not be your mother. She was your mother when you were here, but she might be culpabrichatry. You think that? Your mother may be culpabrichat. And you're going to go to her. Your mother is culpabrichatry. You're going to go to your mother and you want some beautiful flower for Krishna. And your mother is culpabrichatry. She's going to give you that flower. And then she's going to say, why don't you clean up your room? No, I'm just kidding. Did your mother ever tell you to clean up your room? Oh. So, I'm just kidding. So, but you're going to know everyone there. As soon as you get there, you're going to fall right in. There's going to be no downtime. You're not going to have to worry about where is God? What does he look like? What am I supposed to do? What does God want me to do? No insecurity whatsoever. This is home. Prabhupada says, back to home. You've been there. This is your home. Why, it's going to be much less strange than this place. I mean, you can go places on earth and you don't know your way around, right? But you can go to places in India. You don't know the people there. You don't know how to get around. But when you get back home, you're going to know everything about home. You'll actually learn the true definition of home. You're back home. You've been there. You're going back. And so all of this association, all of this coming to the Srimad Bhagavatam class, all of this hearing of this Srimad Bhagavatam and the stories, you're learning about Krishna's very personality. You're going to know exactly what to expect from Krishna. You're going to expect that he's going to be warm, loving, friendly, funny. Why, Krishna is the most humorous. Why would God not have a good time? So you're part and parcel. You're part and parcel of Krishna, right? So then you should have a good time. Krishna wants you to have a good time. Krishna says devotional service is joyously performed. We should always remember that, even if the temple president asks you to do something and you think, I don't want to do that. You think, oh, wait a minute. No. This is an opportunity to perform devotional service. How do I perform devotional service? Oh, yeah, joyously. Why? Because it's devotional service. meaning that it's performed with love and devotion. So it must be joyous. If you add love and devotion, it should be joyous, shouldn't it? So if I start to think, but I don't know if I like this, I don't know if I want to do this service, then that means I'm not thinking about being at home. I'm thinking about being in the material world. My mind is in illusion. I'm in Maya. I'm in Maya. You should sometimes tell yourself when you're in Maya. Do you ever tell yourself that you're in Maya? No? Are you ever in Maya? So then you should tell yourself from time to time, you're in Maya. Now, if he told you you're in Maya, you'd say, what are you talking about? You're in Maya. But you should be able to say, look, you're in Maya. And you say, yes. So, yeah. So now that I know I'm in Maya, I'm coming out of Maya. Wake up. We can do that with each other. You can discipline yourself. I mean, sometimes we won't, but you can. You can discipline yourself much better than anyone else will. Why, if somebody else told you you're in Maya, or if someone else told you that service was not so good, clean that again, you'd say, oh, what? I was fortunate. I had a lot of association for a long time with Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And I don't know if you've heard much about him, but he could be tough. And so I got some tough training, tough love training. You call that cleaning? Clean that again. This is nonsense. Why, Prabhupada would have rubbed my face in it. Clean it again, and then clean it again. Yes, Maharaj. But at the same time, he's very loving. That second time you cleaned that was actually very good. Now, why can't you tell yourself that? Why can't you look at it and say, this isn't so good. I should clean it again. Why can't you do that? You can do that, but you won't do that. But I'm going to teach you how you will do that. So, yes, Maharaj. So when one of your godbrothers or godsisters is telling you, that's not so nice, you should pay attention, shouldn't you? Huh? Really? Take away false ego, push away false ego. I want to do this as an offering of love to Guru and Krishna and Krishna's parts and parcels. Why should I distinguish between you as part and parcel of Krishna and Krishna? So I'll do nice for Krishna, but not so much for you. So that's crazy thinking. So when someone is kind enough to say, no, that's not first class, you should say, oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. You're my friend. Why, he said it was okay. So he was just trying to stay on my good side. But you're my friend. You told me. That's not. So I've got some friends, many good friends in the movement. And I say they're good friends because they'll tell me when it's not good. They'll tell me when it's not first class. I can ask them their opinion, and they'll give me the absolute truth, no matter how much it might hurt. Because it shouldn't hurt. Should it? When I asked Jayadvaita Swami for his advice, I always get the straight sauce, straight truth, because he's a dear friend. Indradyumna Swami, straight. I can go on. We should follow in the footsteps of the great devotees. You should also be like that. This is your training. You're learning to become perfect. So, all right, I'm going to pause now and see if there's any questions or discussion. We've got a few minutes, so anybody? Question? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much for today's wonderful discussion. Sometimes it's very difficult to take feedbacks. I felt myself that actually I felt one time there is nobody around me can give me feedback. Even they are also hesitating. It's a long contemplation, but I feel what can I do now so that I can go in my spiritual life very well. Anything they comment, I react to it, I defend myself. So if you could kindly share what can I do, what steps I can take from now so that I can protect myself.
Most of the time, unless your life is being threatened, the best reaction is no reaction. Does that make any sense? Don't let yourself react right away. Process. If someone is critical of your service or of you, before you say, "Who are you?" Why, look at the way you do things. So that's the normal Maya, because you're attacking my false ego. Oh, I like my false ego. I like it the way it is. I work hard. It's like I had this one guy tell me one time, I work hard for this. Well, the style is to grow some beard now and have the hair a certain way and the tattoos a certain way. I work hard for this. And you are attacking this. You see? That's false ego. My body. My image. Why, if you say that I didn't do that properly, what if someone heard you say that and now they're not going to see me the way I want them to see me? You see what I mean? This is illusory thinking. That's not good training. Can you do that when you go back home, back to Godhead? Some soul there in Godhead says, no, you shouldn't do it like that. Well, who do you think you are? Well, most people call me Balaram, and I say you shouldn't do it that way. Is this guy ready to be here? Who let him in? Who trained this man? It doesn't happen that way. This is the training right now. So this is important. I can see that this is sober thinking on your behalf. This is intelligence. I want to know. How should I react? At first, don't react. Process it. Before your false ego says, how dare you? Before you react, analyze it and look at it and think, well, you know what? He's right. So, wow, you're my friend. You just helped me to do better. You're a better friend than I thought. When you realize someone around you is a better friend than you thought they were, doesn't that kind of make you feel warm and happy? Huh? Wow. I didn't know that you cared that much for me. Makes you care that much more for them. So the relationship is doing very good, isn't it? So, yeah, don't let yourself react right away. Analyze it. What if they're wrong? What if they say, well, you didn't do that properly? And you analyze it and you realize that you did, and you say, Prabhu, can I get your opinion on something? Is that okay? Oh, no, that's very good. Then you think, well, then this person's wrong. So I don't know why they were motivated to do that, but they were wrong. How should I react? Sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes people are trying to criticize you just to hurt you, aren't they? But you know what? That didn't work with them this time, did it? You stopped it. You didn't let them hurt you. I mean, you don't necessarily have to say anything to them. You don't have to say, you know what? You hurt me when you said that. You were just trying to hurt me. No, I wasn't. Yes, you were. No, I wasn't. Yes, you were. Bad training. Let it go. You realize, no, they were wrong. Maybe they were making a mistake. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they were trying to hurt me. Maybe they were trying to make me feel insufficient. But it didn't work. Because I talked with my Prabhu, and I talked with this Prabhu, and I found out, no, it's okay. Let it go. False ego is going to say, no, you go tell him that he was wrong. No. False ego, get out of here. Leave me alone. That's false ego. It's not ego. False ego. Ego is, I'm just a servant of Krishna. If many devotees think that it's correct and one devotee thinks that it's incorrect, let them have their opinion. They're entitled to their opinion. And if they're trying to hurt you, let them try it again. It didn't work that time. Say to yourself, maybe you should try it again. It's like someone throws a punch and you block it. It didn't work. You don't have to throw punches back. You don't have to. False ego will say, don't let him get away with that. False ego. You, as a part and parcel of Krishna, as a humble servant of the Lord, thinking yourself to be lower than the straw in the street and as tolerant as a tree, you're going to let it go. Didn't matter. It had no importance. None. Didn't matter. And if someone says, are you going to let him get away with that? Do you see what he was trying to do to you? You'd say, let it go. It's insignificant. What would a tree do? And that'll make you better, won't it? That's good training. That is excellent training. Good question. Anything else? No? Mothers? All right. Thank you all so much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.